How's it going, folks? Sorry. I like making funny faces sometimes. If you do that, it's going to get stuck there. Nice to see you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dustin Cormier, and welcome to How to Rock Astrology. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Mars in Libra with the Sun in Cancer. Now, if you're a Westerner and you're watching, you might think that I'm going to speak to this square going on here, but I'm a tropical Vedic astrologer, so I'm going by the same measurements as you. Sun in Cancer is like whatever it is, June 21st to July 21st is Cancer. So I'm not like that weird Vedic thing where you're like the sign before or whatever. I go by Vedic philosophy, where the signs don't have strict squares and trines all the time. So I wouldn't even consider this much of a square per se. But they're both cardinal energies, and that's the kind of thing that I read into it. So we have Mars in Libra, which is an actively air sign, looking to actively bring in diplomacy and communication, and Mars is in that sphere. So Mars adds a bit of an aggressiveness to social communication. The Sun is also enveloping itself in its own emotional reality, its creative, imaginative juices, and those of others, the psyche of others, working with others. It's also very material, can be materialistic for the sense of wanting to have experiences that are going to build on its capacity to sustain itself cleverly for a long time. Cancer Sun can be very thrifty, and depending on where the moon is, the moon is going to say a lot about a person's ability to be strong in the sun and to get the energy that it needs, get the help and support and education that it needs to go where it wants to go, to develop the skills it wants to develop. Mars in Libra here is adding diplomacy to that, although it can be aggressive in relationships, as we've kind of heard. If you'd like to hear more about the strict Mars in Libra characteristics, check out, I did a video in this series already of just outlining Mars in Libra. And as we kind of talked about there, Mars in air signs, Mars in any air sign, it asserts itself through the expression of ideas, cerebral things, active communication, and energetic imagination. The Cancer here is going to have an emotional agenda where it wants to deeply be enveloped in someone's love for them, someone's love of who they are reactively. The Sun in Cancer is energized and amorous about, they want to build their character through somebody who understands what they are, who understands their emotions, and who is interested in their emotions. Mars in Libra is a little bit lighter on its feet, so the Mars in Libra here won't let the person get too emotional in their interactions with people. Even though the Sun in Cancer desires it, Mars in here will kind of like this person will secretly desire to be consumed by someone's amorous attention and affection. But the Mars in Libra will make sure that is not only just attention and affection for its own sake, but they want it to look good. They want it to smell good. They want to imagine that there's like a camera on them looking with an audience who is in awe at how cute they are. And look how sweet this partner is to this Cancer person. And they'll have a thought of like what's refined and elegant and well done. And this could be a person who wants to have memories of going out and being socially well dressed with their partner, and they'll be proud of their partner. They'll use their relationship. This is Mars expresses itself through the relationship. So they want it to not only have the Cancer's ultimate ego, the Sun is really the center of this thing and wants to have good memories, but it uses Mars to enact a refinement, an elegance, a diplomacy, even a bit of financial wellness and luxury, whatever they can do to give Cancer what it essentially wants, which is a good memory. It's bound to be an excellent moment. So, Mars in Libra expresses itself. It's stimulated by mental challenges, by social activism and interactions and relationships, ideas, the cerebral, talking about movies and music and even a bit of philosophy, but more about like things. What kind of car you like, you know, what does it say about you that you like that car? And what does it say about me that I'm more of the person that likes this car from this series of whatever, right? Libra looks into culture and icons and forms of beauty, which is more of the Libra thing than Aries, which is just like being first. I'll be first and I'll ask questions about it later. Libra is like, what should I be? Libra asks, what should I be, before it bees. So this is the type of person who kind of caters to a sense of things, a sense of refinement, and is not just emotional for its own sake, even though the sun is that. So that's a little bit about Mars and Libra, kind of in a way. Let's talk particularly about the sexual nature of Cancer through erotic astrology. We're going to talk about the turn-ons and turn-offs of Cancer Sun, and then we'll glue these together. Turn-ons and turn-offs of Cancer Sun. The crab's favorite fantasy generally includes good food and great sex. Any arty combination of these two sensual activities is virtually guaranteed to turn you on. An artsy combination of food, sensation and stimulation, and great visceral sex for its own sake. Preparing and eating a luscious feast together with your lover evokes an atmosphere of voluptuous indulgence. It's the moon is nurturing, wanting to feel like you're getting what your soul needs in order to want to keep going. A private encounter that begins in the kitchen and ends with you feeding each other delectable little snacks in bed can turn into an erotic free-for-all. Once you're really lit up by all that food and you've got the energy and you're where you want to be, you can just splay and be like an ocean of erotic energy on your lover. The breast and chest are erogenous zones for most people, but this is especially true for those born under the sign of the crab. You enjoy having your chest stroked and respond passionately to oral and manual manipulation of the nipples. Cancer's fascination for moonlight and water makes a seaside outing where you can hear the pounding of the ocean as you make love the perfect choice for an erotic getaway. If a trip to the ocean is not feasible, playing a nature sounds machine in your bedroom can evoke many of the same feelings. The right atmosphere, replete with scented candles and aromatic massage oils, usually does the trick. It's interesting that, you know, for Cancer Sun purely, if someone is showing the emotional affection to lay all these things out, that's good enough for them, and it doesn't need to be really that fancy. Just like Cancer's more about the sentiment, you know, like, oh, you made me this cute little love letter out of construction paper and you drew it by hand. Oh, that's so sweet. It's the Mars and Libra that would add a little bit more. The Mars and Libra really would put a lot of effort into learning about these little elegances, these scented candles and aromatic massage oils. They would find ones that are like good, that fit them, and that are an enticing experience for anybody, not just for this partner, right? It's the Cancer Sun that's like, I want to know what's good for this partner, but it's the Mars and Libra that's like, I know what's good for humans, and I know what anybody would like, and adds a certain standard to these things. Deep down, you long to be seduced and swept away on a wave of passion. Once awakened, your lusty libido will carry you and your partner to the heights of ecstatic pleasure. Cancer is a deeply private sign, and you need to feel safe before you reveal yourself. Nothing turns you off faster than a prospective partner who comes on too strong or tries to push you into intimacy before you're ready. Thankfully, the Mars in Libra here will have this sort of like this strength of communication where I'm letting you know that you have to really get through to me in this aesthetic spider web that the Mars in Libra paints and engage with me there and even let me do a lot of it before, all of this will have to be there and the person will have to play with it, be consensual, listen to the social cues, listen to every little cue that the Mars in Libra says before the Sun in Cancer can peer through and say, okay, this person's jiving with me. Maybe I should pay attention to whether we have a soul connection. Or even if Cancer feels that connection is there, they're going to really hope that there's this aesthetic diplomacy and communication before they can really open up to it. Because the Mars is what the Sun is using to get what it wants. That's always what it is. The Mars is for the Sun, not the other way around. The Sun's the king of the chart, Mars is the general. So, you are too sensitive and romantic to respond to a blunt sexual appeal. It's more so with the Libra. Even in a long-term union, Cancer Sun prefers the indirect approach and rarely comes right out and says that they want sex. For you, a sense of physical and emotional well-being is a must. Without a partner who understands this, you're likely to log a great deal of time inside your pesky crab shell. Thankfully, again, it's the Mars in Libra here that's going to really be making sure at the interrelational level that this is right and that you're listening to me. It depends on, the moon the strength of the moon, if it's close to Taurus, if it's close to the 4th house, it's got good aspects, if it's benefic. The strength of the moon will show whether this person is truly finding a partner that's fulfilling for them in the long run, or whether they're just finding a partner just to kind of get their rocks off or to love for its own sake and not look deeply into the partner. And it's Venus that is going to have the sense of, this could find a really deep partner that's meaningful to you if you have your moon in a good place and the Sun has good aspects. But if Venus is not well placed, then this person might be all emotions and might get frustrated with diplomacy, and it might even step on their ability to speak to the communication mutuality that Mars seeks to find through Libra. And if Mars gets frustrated, then the Sun in Cancer will have, especially for men, particularly for men, if this person has a weak Venus and it's a man, then they will get frustrated at the partner's inability to do this mutuality thing. It should say even for both, for a woman too. They would get frustrated that the partner is not listening to this pushiness that they have in the relationship. And the partner won't appreciate it. That's the main thing. They'll get someone who they love just for love's sake, for sentiment's sake. But the partner will not respond to the Mars in Libra in a way that is positive. Because this Mars in Libra can be very positive in a relationship. I have to tell you. It seems like you can be a little aggressive, we should be like this. Or your Mars is controlling the relationship, which is Libra. This is good for anybody, especially if you have a good Venus that works with their chart. Then the person will understand that you are actively volunteering to make sure that the relationship is going well, which is a cute and beautiful thing. It just all has to do with your integrity in finding a partner who understands what you are. And if you have an ill-placed Venus, then this is something just to consider, you know? Try to find someone who relates and understands with what you are at your core. Not just because you're a Cancer and you're lonely and you so deeply want to have cute experiences for Mars and Libra's sake. The Mars and Libra wants to be wined and dined and find a lover who has these ways of giving you this atmosphere that feels so lovely. And if you find someone just because they have that, then you're either going to lose out on the sentiment of the Cancer, or you're going to ultimately miss out on the true. That'll only last a while. Your partner will eventually say, okay, honey, relax on the telling me what to do in the relationship. And that would be sad if you found a partner like that, because Mars and Libra is a good thing. You just got to find someone who appreciates the effort you put into directing the mutual energetic field. So, before we get unsexy, we're never going to get unsexy, are we? We're going to keep things juicy here. Every combination can go south or it can go in the positive direction. You just got to know what your energy is. This is the same reading from Erotic Astrology. We're talking about Sun in Cancer with Mars in Libra. This is a concise combination of both readings. Sun in Cancer, Mars in Libra. You are a romantic idealist, and likely to hold off making a serious commitment until you're sure that you've found Mr. or Mrs. Right. Once you're involved, you make a wonderfully nurturing, refined, thoughtful, and protective lover. I should always say, this is just astrology. I mean, the Sun and Mars has a lot to do with where you're at. But it is only just 2 figures out of so many in the chart. You can't let a reading like this. I'm a polyamorous lover. There's many different philosophies of love. Just because you're Sun in Cancer, Mars in Libra doesn't mean you're going to wait for a one commitment thing. These people are devotional. You are a devotional person. But you can be like that with like 5 different people if you want to. My personal opinion. Quantity eventually can override quality, but the world has more abundant people, more of an abundance of love than the world tends to think, I think. But I digress. You are a romantic idealist, and you do hold off making a serious commitment until you're sure that the people that you're connecting with are really deeply worth vibing with in the long run. Once involved, you make a wonderfully nurturing, refined, thoughtful, and protective lover. The Mars in Libra wants to show that this Cancer Sun is this protective thing, this doting thing, this nurturing personality. In the bedroom, your sensual desires are heightened by feelings of a strong intuitive connection to your partner. Although your lovemaking propensities lean toward the traditional, you're willing to put your own inclinations aside in order to please your bedmate. When your lover is happy, you're happy too. It's the Mars in Libra is willing to move around, and so is Cancer too. Your sensual desires of Cancer are heightened by feelings of a strong intuitive connection to your partner. I mean, both of these kind of have this intuition. It's the Moon and Venus. Those are both the feminine planets. So there's a deep feeling of intuition, and the intuitive world, the cerebral sense of things, really is a delightful area for this person. But the Mars in Libra is not below or not above asking succinctly, what is it that you like, my love? What would please you? And it's a darling characteristic for the Cancer Sun to have. Cancer Sun just loves you, and once they love you, so I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you so much. Let me show you how much. Let me throw more affection at you. It's the Mars in Libra that says, how shall I love you? How would you like me to love you, my love? Which is a beautiful combination. So, I'm Dustin Cormier, folks. This has been How to Rock Astrology. See you guys next time on the next episode, whatever I do, for more fun, erotic, juicy stuff. Thanks for watching.